Sam Forrest, and welcome to Showjumping 101. This is your backstage pass into the world of international showjumping. Today, we're going to join top riders Joanne Sloan-Allen and Sameh Dahan as they take us behind the scenes of the sport, sharing their experiences from the arena to the stables. From competition insights to life on the road, training tips and untold stories, this is the ultimate look at the highs and the lows and everything in between. So saddle up, let's ride into the world of elite show jumping. Your experience, Sam, of horses has come from different continents, really. Joanne, you grew up in Ireland, which is totally horsey, from Connemara's through to obviously your own show jumpers now. What got you into it, and then what got Sam into it, and then how did you even meet? Because, you are continents apart from each other, so tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, how we often chat about my journey into it and how different the sport is in Ireland compared to in Egypt. In Ireland, we grew up on ponies, we go hunting. Every kid, you did everything, so it wouldn't just get on a pony, I grew up, I went to a riding school to start with, and then it evolved from there, and then I had my own pony, which I kept somewhere else, and then it would be days on weekends we'd go hunting cross country in the winter time. In the summertime would be show jumping. But I know that's a lot different for you, although you still had it was the fun element that really got you hooked, which is I think everybody the same, no?
Yeah, well, in Egypt it's completely different because we don't really have ponies or pony classes or anything like that. So I started, the only common thing is I started in a riding school, but it was more structured. We rode Arab horses, which is a little bit bigger than ponies, but not really like half-breds, so mostly similar in that section, but there's no hunting. It was a bit more structured. You go and ride, you take your lesson, whatever it was, 45 minutes, and then I used to go before school, so 6 a.m. I'll be riding those 45 minutes and then change into my school uniform and go to school. But then that was from when I was 5 till I was 9. Then I moved to a different place, which was the police academy where I rode then for most of my career in Egypt. And there was an element of fun because there's a lot of us who were a lot of friends, and after riding whatever it was, dressage or show jumping, we'll take a few horses and hike around the place or gallop, because it was a massive center, so we used to gallop horses and stuff like that, just for fun, but we weren't jumping
when you take a group of kids and you throw in some ponies, you get very inventive. We used to, for us there was the straw bales in the field when they cut the fields in the September time, so we would gallop on the straw and then jump the bales and dare each other, and kids make each other brave. It would be, you do that, no, you do that, and I would say probably you guys would be the same, but you'd be daring each other.
We were daring each other, kind of basically racing, because there wasn't hay bales and stuff like that in Cairo or the center I was in, but it was the 4 or 5 of us will just take horses, and there will be a long aisle of whatever 400 or 500 meters, and we'll just gallop and see who gets to the end of the aisle first. Okay, we did also stupid things when we were a kid, there was donkey in the place where 3 of us would ride it, and what kids would do, and it was a lot of fun. I spent my whole summer days from 8 a.m. till 10 o'clock at night in the riding center, and we just invent ideas for fun.
You were never bored?
So trying to get your head around how you learnt to ride in a country that's not really known for sort of equestrian sport. England and Ireland are steeped in it, but Cairo and Egypt, you never think of it, but you've done incredibly well. Obviously it's boiling hot there, so you can't ride, I suppose, during the day. There are Arab horses, but I'm guessing you must have more sports horses there now. It's a long time ago, obviously, that you rode there, but so how do you make that? And you said you were in the police academy. What was that? Were you a policeman?
Oh, no. So basically my grandfather was a policeman. So if you had somebody that was in the police, close relative to you, you can ride in the police academy. So that's how I started riding there. I was 9, so obviously I was no policeman at that age. So it's funny you said that. Obviously, because we're not in the sport as show jumping sport as big as England or as the UK or Ireland, people think that. But actually, Egyptians are very close to the animals, are very close to horse. It's really in our heritage, not from a sport point of view, but just as an animal that you ride. You used to go from one place, older days, from one place to the other. Like you say, pull carriages. So the horses are very involved
it's
in
the same as in Ireland. It's in our blood.
in a different way, obviously, because in Ireland, like you say, you go hunting, you go this, you go that, but in Egypt it's like pulling carriages, going from one place to the next. And then it became a sport. Nowadays especially, it's a lot more popular. There is a lot more half-breds in Egypt. People import them to Cairo and ride. There's a lot of riding centers. There's more riding centers being built. So the sport is growing like anywhere, but the horse itself has been in our heritage for so many years. And it's close. It's an animal that is very close to us.
And you can see that thing through in Ireland, like you had the bog ponies, you had the Connemara's. I mean, the horse was a work animal. It was essential because we were an agricultural nation. We're a rural nation. So the horses were very important. And then they would have bred them. Then you had the race horses, which is huge in Ireland. So racing's in our blood, the horses are in our blood. And I think that's the common connection. And what I always said, because people always think, wow, that's some combination, you know, Irish, Egyptian, how do you know, where's the common denominator? But actually it's the horse. And I always said to everybody that for me, the Egyptian riders that obviously I know Sam well, there's also many other ones that I've been lucky over the years to work with and be friends with. They have a common passion for the horse and a sympathy and a softness to work with it. And that's actually something that you can't teach people. Feeling, you know, they always say that the Irish are such good riders because we adapt and we're feeling and we're always with the animal. We don't have the technique of the Americans. They would be well known for their technique in the saddle. The French the same, but the Irish, it would be the feeling. An Irish rider or the good top Irish riders can nearly get on any horse. And you think about all the Irish riders, they're very adaptable. But for me, when Sam and I actually first started to work together, what I liked about Sam was his feeling and his empathy and his ability to ride different horses.
How did you gel as people? I think that's what people want to know. We all know that you're a really lovely, compassionate rider. Joanne is like a mad redhead who's like, whoa, she's like a whirling dervish. You're very relaxed and very calm. How did you gel as people to start with?
I'll go back to that question. I'll go back 14 years because obviously that's when it first happened. But to be honest, from the first phone call, and I've just, you know, she's very, I don't know how to say it, but like very forthcoming, but in a gentle way. Like, you know, I felt like as if I know her for a long time. Her ideas, okay, at the time she wasn't telling me like I want to do 1, 2, 3, but I can feel a lot of ideas coming through her mind. And like I said, with horses, nothing is guaranteed really. So I just felt very comfortable after this phone call. I felt obviously more comfortable when I met her. I always said I had a really comfortable life in Egypt. I had my horses, I had my owners, I had my clients. So it wasn't really an easy move for me to leave all that behind. And I'm a person that I like to feel that people with me are not indifferent, they're welcoming and they're warm. And that's something I really found when I met Joanne, and I also met her family. And yeah, that's...
And it's like, for me with Sam, so I suppose anybody that knows me, I am like one of these people who's like really positive, and we can do this. It's like, no, we can do this no matter what. Even like when I'm kind of really in a hole somewhere, it's like, no, it's fine, we're going to do this. So I'm like, really can do this. And then actually when I met Sam, it was kind of, I think we actually complete each other, because your qualities and my qualities, my negatives, which are there quite a few, any negatives that you might have, I think the two of us actually, like, we're never both in a bad mood. So if I'm in a bad mood, he'll be in a good mood, he'll lift me, and the other way around. So it's kind of like to work with someone as close as we do and to be together all the time like we are, you have to actually feed off each other. And we both have the same sense of humour, which is good. And I mean, I knew when I seen Sam, when I watched him ride, he has such talent and such ability. I knew that what I can do with the breeding and producing horses, and I mean, I like to work them on the flat. And I like to, you know, be quite meticulous about different things. And I know that Sam is such a competitor. He can go in the ring and straight away, he can win, he can focus, he can go on any horse. So I think we complement each other a lot, and we've always worked, and we talk about that a lot, that we work really closely with the horses. Like, we would have changed over when the horses were younger. Sam would have got on them, I would have got on them, we would change over. And I think that always benefited the horses, because they had two people and two different approaches to get to the end result. I feel that we complement each other, no?
We do.
And, we're both hard workers and we both want to get to the end. We don't believe that anything is impossible. Like what Sam has achieved is incredible when you really think about it, but we don't give up. We set a goal, and well, I'll set a crazy goal, which will seem crazy, and it'll be, come on, we can do it. And Sam does it. So, it's quite simple when you have someone like Sam who's got such talent and ability, and you've got someone with me who's completely crazy when it comes to, yeah, we can do this, then anything's possible.
It's quite an unusual setup, really, isn't it? Because most professional riders have owners. They don't have owner riders. So I think, is that quite an unusual? I mean, I don't really know any other people that work like that. I mean, if you look at the top, like Scott Brash and Ben Mayer, they don't have owners who ride the horses, do they? So that's quite an unusual sort of scenario, do you not think?
I don't think there's anything normal about us, really. Sam and I break the mold. The whole team, the whole concept of WKD. WKD was, even if you look at the whole concept of the actual product that sponsors us, WKD was unusual at the time. It was completely different. We are completely different. Our mindset is completely different. Our approach is completely different. We're not stuck by, I feel that the way things work with us is that we don't rule anything out. So like when we work on something, if it doesn't work, we're quite happy to tear it all up and start again. We're not set in our heads. Sam and I, we will try anything, and if it doesn't work, we'll try again.
There's nothing usual about this, to be honest. Like World Championships, Joanne is riding my mare on the flat in the morning. There's nothing usual about it. Like if anybody's seen it, like what are these two are doing? Like you have a 160 championship course in a few hours, and Joanne is riding the horse. But yeah, that's the way we did it. Most of Zoro's biggest Grand Prix, Joanne was riding her in the morning. We swap horses all the time. Like you say, it doesn't really happen in normal circumstances, but that's how we did it, and it worked, and it proves that there's no real book that you can follow in show jumping. You can do it in so many ways, and I cannot say that this way is right and wrong, and nobody can say that our way is right or wrong either. Sometimes we win,
it's true.
Sometimes we lose.
Like a lot of people say, even to me personally, they say, but I was actually doing on my own level, I would have been successful. And they're like, but why then do you not keep the ride on this horse or that horse? And I said, because at the end of the day, it's about the horse, and it's about the best person for that horse. So yes, I might be good at a certain element of the production, but when it gets to a certain stage, I have the best rider in the world. So why not then give it to him? I think in any sport, when it's a team sport, like show jumping is an individual sport, but it's also a team sport, and you're with a horse, you have to always be able to put that before everything else. If you want to succeed, then you have to be able to put your ego to the side and be strong enough as a person to say, I want my horse to be the best. And how do you be the best? Well, you do the work, and you work together on a plan for that situation to win. We're a team. We work as a team. We've always worked as a team. I have strengths, I have weaknesses, Sam has strengths and Sam has weaknesses. So our idea is team first. We work together, both of us, and whoever does the best job, that's who gets the job.
So that wraps up episode 1 with Joanne and Sameh. Stay tuned for next week when we'll find out a little bit more about this partnership.